really did it. I can literally say like, damn, I fucked up.
Yeah, I know, nigga, but that's the biggest mistake. That's like the worst mistake. You know what I'm saying?
It is like everything that I gained. Like I think that shit just went to shit. So I ain't gonna lie to you.
You can't be doing stuff like that, man. But it's all good though. It's a learning experience. We all make mistakes. Just don't let it happen again.
Hell yeah. And I'm glad. I'm glad that it's with this bitch. I'm glad that it was with her. If she already wasn't gonna get wife, so I'm glad that I actually learned that shit now.
Yeah, but you still caught up though. You saying she ain't gonna get wife, but you caught up out here in these streets.
Caught up, nigga. Push it too good, nigga.
That's called being caught up. Talk about the pussy too good. That's what you call getting caught up. You whip, nigga. What you talking about?
Guess you could say that.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's a learning experience.
It is.
As long as you learn from your mistakes. Anyway, guys, we live on Zoom. So if you're on Patreon, I'm answering questions. So if you guys got any questions, join the Zoom call. Obviously, you would have to be on Patreon. If you not,
let other people talk though.
Yeah, let some other people get in here. What up, Matt? I see Matt joined the chat. Matt, you got any questions?
Yeah, I got a question real quick.
What's the deal with it?
So I as we discussed before, we chatted a few times already, but I don't have any problem getting females.
Right.
But how do I elevate the quality of females that I'm getting? So I usually hit around 6, 7, 8s occasionally, but I want to move that level up to 7, 9s, and 10s. How do I do that?
It's very simple. You got to level up yourself. It's very simple. One, you got to level up your game. You got to work on your game. Are you studying? Are you actively studying the content on Patreon?
No. Every once in a while, I'll jump on. I'll click on relevant videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get what you put out of it. You want to work. You want to level up. You got to level up on your game, because when you're gaming 8s, 9s, and 10s, it's different from gaming 6s, 5s, and 4s. You shouldn't even be talking to anything below a 6 if you want to level up, right? And then on two, you got to level up who you are as a person. Take your person to a next level. Take your style to the next level. Take how you look to the next level. Work on your physique. Take your money to the next level. What kind of car are you driving? You know, driving a nice luxury car is a vagina magnet. You know that, right? So you gotta work. You gotta basically cover all aspects, because we know that women like nice things, and equivalent. A guy having a really nice car is equivalent to a girl with a astonishing body wearing a tight little skirt, and you can see everything, right? It's something that's appealing to men, and you having things that are on the exterior are appealing to women. So, and if you can level up in it all, then you will have a higher caliber of woman. It's very that simple. But if you can't level up, if it's going to take you some time to level up on the money, you got to level up on your game and your image. So what does that mean? How about you work on your game? Actually study the content, pre-game when you're at home before you go out, study the content on Patreon, work on your image, make sure you look presentable. If you got to ask yourself, okay, it's like when they ask, like I take coaching too, right? But I take coaching for like lifestyle stuff, not like game, like, on getting rich and stuff like that. It's not something I tell anybody about, but that's okay. But what I'm being told is, if you want to be a millionaire, right, you have to put yourself in a position. So what is that person that you want to be have to do to be in that position? So you want 9s and 10s, right? What do you have to do to be in that position? You got to up your game. It's really that simple. You got to up your game.
Right.
It's that simple.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate you.
No problem. Who else got any more questions, guys? By the way, guys, we are on a Zoom call. So if you're on Patreon, you can join the Zoom call and you can ask questions. And that's what we're doing right now. So if you're on Patreon, join on in. All right. Who else has questions? Come on, talk to me. Talk to me. Come on, I know all y'all ain't joined this. And don't be talking in the chat, because I'm not answering questions in the chat. You want to speak? Speak up. Come on. I know all y'all didn't join in here to just listen to other people talk. If y'all,
good, KB.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up? So I have a question. How would you like increase a woman's emotions for you? Like,
well, I just did this yesterday on a podcast on this yesterday. Make sure you go listen to it. I actually gave a few statistics, actually a few studies. I still have it up right here, actually, in my face. So what did I talk about? Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Shit is falling apart. So I talked about, we talked about women's emotions, right? Now, you keep a woman vested in you when you can gauge her emotions. Some people do that naturally. Some people have to do it deliberately because they don't know how to do it. Now, whether those emotions are positive or negative, you're always going to stay on the front of her mind. Now, we know women are emotional creatures. Now, the University of Chicago put out a study, and they said that people are more likely to work harder for rewards that are uncertain, opposed as to knowing. Now, one of the biggest mistakes is guys give women certainty, right? They say, well, yeah, I'll love you forever. I'm never going anywhere. Or even with their actions, every day she wants to hang out. You're hanging out with her every day. You're not on your purpose. You're not doing anything. When you're at the very beginning of the talking stage, when she asks you, do you talk to other girls? You say no. She can't get mad at that. And what are you guys afraid of? That she's not going to talk to you anymore? You're giving her certainty. And furthermore, when you're in a relationship and she says, oh, if I was to gain 150 pounds, would you still love me? Maybe. You're going to have to lose that shit, though. Or we're going to have a problem. But what do most guys say? Oh, of course, baby. I'll love you no matter what. Forever and ever. You can gain 1,000 pounds. I'll still love your big ass. No, that's the problem. There's too much certainty there. And a lot of you guys don't understand this because it seems like you're being mean. It seems like you're being, you're not being a nice guy, but there's that level of certainty. And then you're not going to have her emotions going up and down. You need highs and lows. But the real key to engaging a woman's emotions are highs and lows. Now, a lot of the times a woman will come and they'll implement the lows on their own, because they're just emotional. But if you're not implementing anxiety, because anxiety, there are studies done where they said that anxiety increases a woman's emotions. And a lot of times you don't really have to do much to stay firm and stay calm on who you are and what you're doing. So, for example, if a woman has an attitude, she's blowing up on you and getting disrespectful, you say, you know what? I'm not talking to you. Bye. You hang up, and I'm not, and you just take a little break from her. Let her breathe and let her have some time to herself. She may want to talk to you in that very moment, but you're not talking. So I don't care if she calls you 30 times. If you're not ready to talk, you don't like how she was talking. She was very disrespectful. She needs time to herself so she can recover from her emotions. That's anxiety. Some people need to implement a little more anxiety because they have different dynamics. But anxiety is the thing that's going to have her emotions up and down. Now, the highs and lows come from, well, obviously you need to have a good time. So the lows are going to come. Now, if she's not implementing any lows, maybe you need to, because, I was on my story the other day and Cardi B was like, how, I like good guys. I like guys that treat me nice, but then that should get a little boring. I need some drama. At least she's honest and she's aware of that because most women aren't. Now, like I said, there's always exceptions. You have some women who don't want drama. You have certain women who want different levels of drama. That's why a lot of women go for the quote unquote bad guys, right? The bad boys, because they like thugs and gangsters because they live a very, dramatic lifestyle and it's daring and exciting, right? That's why toxic guys just do so well with women. They know how to gauge their emotions. Remember the old saying, you can never change a woman's mind. You can only change her emotions. And how does that work? Because most of the time, you're not going to convince a woman to stay. Like, I just got off the phone with a guy not too long ago. He was like, his girl was ready to leave and he's trying to convince her to stay with him. That's not how that works. you have to gauge her emotions. So when she wants to leave, you say, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. But and then you'll see if she's faking the funk, because a lot of times women don't want you to actually let them go. Like, oh, you're not going to chase me. You're not going to. No, we're not playing that type of game. So if you want a girl to, what was your question? To be obsessed with you or make her more emotional?
Yeah, make her more emotional, like just get her obsessed. Like I wouldn't say obsessed, but just like attached.
Well, that's a whole different that's a whole different process. Well, this is a part of the process, but attachment takes time. Usually attachment takes 2 to 3 months. I actually have put this study down. Hold on. When I took, you need to actually listen to that last podcast that I did. Hold on 1 second. Let me sign it. So the Journal of Social Psychology, they put out a study where of 100 participants and of men and women. And what they found was it usually took men a few days to a few weeks to fall in love, whereas it took women a few months, a little under 2 to 3 months. So in that time, you usually have to build the attachment. Now, what are you doing to build the attachment? This previous stuff that I just mentioned to you, that's 1. 2, obviously, doing the deed, that's one way. There are some things. I'm also live on Instagram and TikTok, so I don't want to mention that will also help you build the attachment. It's a little more reckless. So to say, and I wouldn't recommend this. I'm not going to even say it on live because it's too much. I'll make an individual video about it. And actually what I'll do is I'll write it down so this way I don't forget. But building the attachment takes time. It takes about 2 to 3 months usually. And this, I knew this before I even read this little study that was done by the Journal of Social Psychology. But yeah, building attachment, making somebody attached. Don't be so available. You got to learn to polarize your relationship, and you got to put in some work. And that usually takes time. But what I'll do is I'll make a separate video on Patreon for that. But yeah, that's pretty much. You got to learn how to gauge your emotions and implement anxiety. If it's not coming from her, and a lot of times you can implement the anxiety and like flip it on her own. Like, like women say, oh, I want this, I want that, and a third. If you don't give it to me, then I'm leaving you. You say, okay, well, and just go silent, right? And most women are expecting that. Most men don't do that. And she'll come with the drama and you just don't entertain it. That's why most divorces are initiated by women anyway, because men don't understand relationship dynamics. They don't have any game at all whatsoever. I just was on TikTok and some guy was like, oh, there's no need in doing cold approach because women have so many options with social media. They have so many options with dating apps. It's stupid. Cold approach is done. I'm like, if you ain't got game, just say that. That's so stupid, right? Because it's like, why even, like, it's so dumb. Because first of all, it clearly doesn't have game. Because if you approach a female in the right way, and females aren't being approached, and that's a part of the problem. I've watched plenty of videos when women talk about they want to be approached, especially the better looking women. The ones that the previous guy just said he wanted, the 8, 9s, and 10s, they don't get approached like that. But back to your point, building attachment, it takes time. So just go listen to that last podcast and just study. You guys got to study. All the stuff you need is on fucking Patreon. I did whole podcast on that already.
Oh, for sure. Well, thank you, KB.
No problem, man. If you guys have more questions, 2 and 3 questions, it's okay. We on here for a little bit, so shoot. Who else got a question? Go ahead. Don't be too shy. I'm gonna start eating my food too. Okay.
No, it's nobody else has a question. I have another question.
It's okay. Shoot. Let me hear it.
Sure. So what are like 3 habits that will like improve my dating life?
What do you mean 3 habits that improve your dating
life?
As far as what?
So I'm not really where I want to be at in the dating game. So I was just like, what are some habits that you do that like increases your rotation and like with women?
Well, I don't really have so much of a rotation now. But we'll talk about it because I kind of got company, so we ain't gonna get into a whole bunch of details. But what I'll say is, as far as dating, but say the question again.
like I don't know how. I'm not how I'm trying to ask this question. I'm just like
Yeah, because I
habits
really
of
don't
like
understand it. You
building a
guys,
rotation.
you want to know how to build a rotation?
Yeah, like how to keep like a bunch of women around. Cause I studied like how to build a rotation, but like I just like need a bigger picture of it.
So you watch the videos.
Yeah.
And what else? What else are you asking for though?
Like, so what if a female is like, oh, you're talking to all these other females, like I'm just supposed to say like yeah, like not give a fucking nonchalant about it, and is
Well,
that's what I'm not getting.
well, you should tell the truth, and you have to tell the truth. That's one. But if you're talking to a bunch of females, she doesn't necessarily need to know that you're talking to 5 and 6 and 7 females. Because if you tell a girl you're talking to one, trust me, I know that will be enough for her. That will be enough for her. It doesn't matter. You tell a girl you're talking to one other female, that's like telling her you're talking to 5. But when you say you're talking to 5 and 6 and 7, it makes it sound a lot worse. So it's a bit dramatized. So if you say, yeah, I'm talking to someone else, and it's not that serious, and that's basically the sum of what's going on right now. Now, as time goes on, you're gonna lose pieces. You're gonna lose some of the girls in your rotation because they're not going to want to put up with that forever. Eventually, somebody's gonna want exclusivity. Somebody's gonna want a relationship.
Word.
Yeah, you can't maintain, especially if you're talking to girls for months at a time, and some of these girls they're wanting a relationship, they're getting attached. Some of them might even tell you that they love you. You can't maintain it because they're not going to stick around forever. I mean, you can sell them a dream that'll keep them around a little longer, right? That'll keep them around a little longer. And if you say, well, I'm open to this, I want to do this, I want to have this, and I would like it with you, but at that point, that's just dark game because you're just being a player. And if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But if you're gonna go dark game and be a player, you might as well just have 5 and 6 girlfriends and tell them they're all they're all girlfriends, right? But if you're trying to take the honest road and just have a rotation and have a little honesty with it, you got to understand you're gonna lose some females because they're all not gonna stick around forever. But usually the key is when you have a female after like a certain amount of months, especially that month, those like 2 to 3 months where the attachment is built, and you're willing to let them go depending on the quality of female she is, because she didn't get that validation, she'll probably stick around anyway. It's usually how it goes. You can just tell them, well, I'm just not ready for a relationship. I mean, if you just came out of a very long relationship, that's definitely a legitimate excuse and a great excuse to tell them. Like I had one guy, he said he wants to build a rotation, but he just came out of a 10-year relationship and he was engaged, and the girl just walked off when it was time for them to get married. And I was like, holy shit, that sucks. But that's a legitimate excuse. Most people will understand that. And that will prolong your keeping a rotation. But if you're trying to say, how do I just keep girls, 5 and 6 and 7 girls in rotation forever, you're not. You're not. Especially, some may stay around for a long time, some may not. But eventually, some are going to leave, and that's pretty much, if that's the answer you were looking for, that's pretty much how that goes. But and in light of being honest, just say, yeah, I talked to one other person, but that falls into that, that player role. And when you're being a player, that falls into dark game. And dark game has no boundaries. Because I just started uploading the dark game series. It's a real dirty game if you're gonna take the player out. But even still, you can say straight up, yeah, there's some people I talk to, nothing serious. If you're selling dreams, yeah, I'm open to a relationship in the future, which is not a lie, but you don't put any actually date on it. So it's like, damn, I thought the future was in a few months. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you, KB.
You had no other questions?
I just have another question. So I've been watching you since since last year. I watched all your videos, and I was like wondering, like, what are some of the stuff you haven't taught to us yet? Like some of the knowledge, some of the game you haven't like taught.
Dark game. Because dark game is really, you know, sometimes because you know I do share a level of religiosity, so it's like sometimes I think about some of the shit that goes on in my head or some of the stuff that I've done in the past, and I just think like, damn, will I go to hell for teaching these motherfuckers this, you know? And you know, it's like you learn it and then you go teach it from someone else and they teach it and you all got it from me, and you know, one day I feel like I'm gonna have to answer for that shit, right? And I guess approach game, there's a little more approach game that I can use, but I feel like a lot of my clientele, a lot of my following is surrounded by relationship dynamics, because you don't have a lot of PUA coaches that really teach relationship dynamics. You don't have any, which some pickup coaches are something totally different. And then you don't have a lot of the red pill guys that really teach relationship dynamics. They'll give you the basics like, oh, don't allow disrespect, and oh, stick up for yourself, and you know, like the guys on the Fresh and Fit podcast, their solution for everything is getting rich, right? Getting rich and getting your money up and fixing up your Instagram and looking presentable, but they don't teach relationship dynamics. So a lot of the stuff that I teach is surrounded is pretty good about like relationship dynamics, you know. So I feel like a lot of the stuff is dark game, and I'm just a little hesitant. And I guess pickup game, I can teach a little more, but a lot of the stuff, thank you. A lot of the stuff is, ooh, that's hot. A lot of the stuff is surrounded by dark game, but a lot of stuff, sorry, relationship dynamics. But I guess that's some of the stuff I can teach. But that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a little more of the dark game, but it's hard because it's like with dark game, it's like, you know, when you're being a player, you'll say anything and do anything to cater to a female, right? You'll say and do anything. So you have to be, you kind of got to be good at it, because you know, when you understand game and you understand what it means to be red pilled, right? You understand that you can't say and do anything, because now you're pandering and you're not polarizing that relationship, right? Not even teasing and stuff like that. So it's like in certain situations, you would have to know where to give beta game. And I guess that's another thing I can teach is beta game, because everybody thinks like, oh, you got to be red pill. You can't do this. You can't be nice to the girl. You can't say, oh, you can't be like, oh, catering. There are places and times for that. And it does work with some females, right? And it's like, you got to know how to turn that on and off. And there's been times where I've done that and it works excellently. But it's not something that I teach guys readily, because that's not your problem. A lot of you motherfuckers is beta. And even when you claim that you're not, you still do the beta shit. And it's like, you can't even help it. But you don't know how to put a balance on it. You don't know how to twist it into game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, the beta game and the dark game, and, you know, just being a player is just some of the stuff that I question sometimes, because there's morals behind it. But I can't give you too much like exact details, because I'm also live on TikTok and Instagram. So all those motherfuckers that didn't pay, they ain't about to get a whole bunch of free sauce. So, but yeah, don't worry, I'm working on it. It's a lot. Like I'm gonna do this shit for years. Been hooking up with girls since I was 12 years old. I got a lot of knowledge.
Hey KB, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Hey, so this is like more on like the relationship side and also family side. How much of your family's opinion would you take into account when bringing a girl home for a relationship? Say your mom wants you to marry this type of woman, and she has this picture painted in her head, but that's not the type of girl you bring home. And so she has that, you know, nagginess or X, Y, and Z of her expectations. How would you, one, balance that dynamic, and how much, two, would you take that opinion into account when finding a mate? And then three, I guess, is like, are you even going to listen to that? You know, see your mom's or your family chirping you about it.
That's really interesting you say that. So I'll give you two perspectives. One, I have a very religious family. Well, relatively, let's say relatively religious, right? My family is Muslim. Now, so there are standards for the type of woman that I bring home, right? Of course, there are women in the past that I've dated and bring home that weren't Muslim, maybe open to learning, or they share some level of religiosity. Of course, one of the Abrahamic religions, meaning Christianity and Judaism, because they share a lot of similarities. And as far as the type of woman, I think I do respect my mother's opinion to a degree. And even from a religious perspective, like I said, I'm relatively religious. So given the religious law, your mother's opinion does play a certain factor for me. And so I try to take it into consideration a little bit, just a little bit. And it does matter a little bit, and it makes things a lot easier. For example, when I was younger, I had got caught with a girl in the basement. And my mother thought she was the ugliest thing ever. And I honestly didn't think she was ugly. She was just a little bald. She didn't have a lot of hair, but she had a banging body, big old fat butt, everything. And what my mom did, she made fun of me and ridiculed me for bringing home that. She was like, "You bringing home bald girl? That girl was bald as hell." Listen, I don't want no ugly grandchildren. Like I would never hear the end of it, and it definitely played an effect on me. And like it played. My mom basically shitted on me for bringing home a girl that wasn't up to her standards. So it definitely played a role on me, and I was 16 at that age. So I think growing up, I tried to have a little bit of higher of a standard. Now, let's play it from another side. I wouldn't say my mom's racist, but she's definitely prejudiced, and not just against a specific race of people, but to everybody. So one narrative in the house is you better not bring home a white girl, right? And now, obviously, if I'm gonna bring one home, she can't do anything about it. She'll have to accept it. But it's not something I normally do. Not to say that I've never dated white girls, but because I have. I normally fall into like, a black or Hispanic or, somewhere in between type of mix. As far as girlfriends goes, like anybody that takes serious, that's usually what it falls into. Now, on a religious perspective, and as far as a girl's looks go, it does play an effect. But to a degree, you have to say, all right, well, you're just going to have to accept this, because let's say, for example, if I did find that perfect white girl who was she was fly, cool personality, maybe she shared similar interests in religion, and her body was banging, and let's say like she was great in bed. My mom doesn't have to know that, but listen, it's like, all right, well, listen, mother, I know you don't like it, but you're gonna have to accept it, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I'm sleeping with her. You know what I'm saying? So the point is, you want to give a balance of perspective to your parents or your mom's opinion, but to a degree. It shouldn't be extreme. It shouldn't be, oh, I don't want you talking to this, that, and the third. And if she doesn't listen, if it's good enough for you, and you did a good process of picking the woman, as far as like your filtering process, like filtering out the low quality woman from the high quality woman. If you did a good job with that, and she checks out on a certain list, that's a mandatory list, not just your list, and then she checks out on your list, your mom's gonna have to accept it. But it'll help if she's presentable and it's something that she can get along with. But and usually when you're in a situation like that, even if it was something that your mother completely rejected, down the line they'll get used to it. But I would like to know, I don't know if you mind telling, what are some of the standards that your parents put on you?
Oh, I'm glad you touched on that second part, because I feel like I don't know if it's like a black mama household thing or whatever. You're not bringing a white girl home to the house. That's definitely one. But she wants like a girl who's college educated. Christian is one. So I think And then definitely the white girl thing is probably the biggest deal. But I'm from Ohio, but I live in Texas now, so it's a little bit easier to find the girls
I'm assuming you're black.
I normally stay this. I'm black. Yeah.
You definitely sound like a white kid.
Well, I'm a suburban dude. Let's go. I said
okay.
For the suburbs.
Okay.
And
okay.
I'm an engineer too, so you know, but you gotta be you gotta code switch every once in a while. But
okay.
Yeah. So I normally stick to the mixed girls, like white and black, white and Latina, all Latina, that type of thing. You know, because like I'm mixed myself, so I don't know. I like a little milk in my coffee, you know.
Motherfucker said milk. Okay.
A little creamer, a little sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No.
But yeah. So anyway, it's kind of difficult finding all those different qualities, but I think you hit on the two big ones, which is definitely probably going to be like the race and the religion aspect, which is going to appease her mainly. You know, and I think it's good as well, being in Christianity, to be equally yoked, which is also good.
No, definitely. Like, and that's another thing. It's like, it's the same thing with women, right? When women get a little older, they have very high standards, and why they have very high standards, because all in their 20s, Layla, get down from there. Sorry, I'm stuck on my cat. Because all in their 20s, they had a whole bunch of experiences, right? So women in their 20s, they have a lot of experiences. And because they have so many experiences, they're a little more definite on what they want and what they don't want. And so when they get in their 30s, their clock is kind of ticking for why they don't have a family, right? So, but the problem is they set such high standards. And what you got to understand, eventually you're going to have to settle, because one, you're not as good looking as you were when you're in your 20s. That's one. Two, your clock is ticking as far as, you know, fertility, right? Maybe not super bad, but it is. Number three, you know, your standards are too high. You're never gonna find a person that checks off every single list. Not to say never, because I'm an optimist, so I do believe things are possible. But the chances, especially when 80% of women want like 50% of men, everybody wants a guy that is making six figures and 6 feet tall. You know, most of the society, I think it's like, I'm not sure the number, but it's a very small number of society that guys fall under 6 feet. And then guys that make 6 figures a year, it's like 15% or less. Guys who make $1 million a year are just like 1%. So your chances are you're not going to get that guy, right? Not saying that it's not possible, but you know, and it's the same thing with your mom. She has a perfect checklist and she wants it, but you're not going to get a perfect checklist. And at the end of the day, she's not in a relationship with that person. You are. So ultimately, you have to make that decision. And she can accept it or she may not, but she's never going to not accept you. So she'll be all right.
All right. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, guys, we got 6 more minutes. So if you got a question, come on in there and ask, because we about to get off.
Hey, KB.
What's going on?
Not much. So how do I reduce the amount of flakes I'll get? Or, you know?
Reduce the amount of flakes. Give me some specifics. How are you getting flaked? Like on dating apps, in person? Like, what's the deal?
Like, would I meet them? Is that what you mean? Or,
what was that?
Like, as in, will I meet them?
Like I'm saying, what are your circumstances for getting flaked? Like, are you like talking to them and they're flaking on you? Are you meeting up with them?
Just on messages.
And where are you getting these girls from? Are you seeing these girls? Are you getting these girls' numbers in person? Are you talking to them?
No, I'm not seeing them in person. So off that.
Okay. I can tell you right now, you're just not appealing enough. You're not coming off as appealing enough. So if you get a match and you're talking to a girl and then things dwindle down, there's something off in your conversation, right? Are you setting up dates? Or are you giving a lot of small talk before you even do that?
So I message when I message them, like I set up the day, and then they say yes. But then when the day comes, you know,
Are you talking to them in between the date? Are you talking to them on the phone? Are you getting them off the app?
Yeah, I'm getting them off the app.
Okay.
I message them, set up the date. They say yeah, but then.
Are you talking to them all day, every day?
No. It's when I message them, it's like we set it up, and I want to talk to them maybe the day before. The day before we're supposed to meet. You know what I mean?
So you only won't talk to them the day before.
Yeah.
So how long are you waiting before you go on dates with these girls?
Maybe like, let's say I set it up that weekend, or
How many days? Like usually, an average. Like, are you waiting from Monday to Sunday, or like what is it?
Yeah, like from Monday to Friday, Monday, like that.
And then come the day before the date, there's no date.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can tell you that for a fact, it has to do with your conversation in your game. That's more likely what it is, right? One.
So
yeah. One, I get you're probably talking throughout the day, all day, every day. You don't. And if she has you on social media, you probably don't seem interesting, right? And then the conversation that you're probably giving a whole bunch of certainty. You're probably letting the girl know that she has you in the bag. You're not creating any mystery. That's definitely what it sounds like. But usually when girls flake on dates, they're probably you don't come off interesting to them. And one, sometimes it can come down to how you're setting up the date. Now, on the text series, I did put a way to set up dates. Like, for example, what guys do is they'll try to have this whole macho alpha attitude and be like, all right, well, you are, let's meet this day here, here, and here, and then we're good. Boom. And she may agree, but then she'll come up and say, oh shit, wait, I can't because I had something scheduled. Then you're thinking that, oh, she's just not interested and she's flaking. It's not the right way to do that. The better way to do that is say, hey, so are you into, let's say, rollerblading or something? Like, oh, I love rollerblading. Really? Oh, that's great. What day are you free? Oh, you're free on this day? Oh, perfect. So let's set up a date for this day when you're free. Or if you're not free, let's try another day when I'm free. And if she agrees to that date, then you do that, right? And once you set up the date, then you say, all right, cool. Now, in between, don't ruin the mystery. Like, for example, let's give example, Bob. Bob gets this girl's number and he texts her and they set up a date, right? But meanwhile, she has like 5 other guys texting her throughout the week and she has multiple plans. But Bob only maybe calls her once in that week, or maybe texts her twice on top of that, and she doesn't hear from him, right? Not saying all the time, or she hears from him like a little bit, not too often. Meanwhile, the other guys are texting her all day. Good morning, beautiful. Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Oh, damn, you look good. Damn, you look beautiful. She knows she got these guys in the bag. Ain't no challenge there. But meanwhile, Bob didn't text her until the day before the date. Hey, what's up? How's it going? We still on for tomorrow? Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, my God, I didn't hear from you for so long. Well, I'm busy. I'm on my purpose. This, I'm doing this and that and the third. This guy still has a lot of mystery. She's still wondering about this guy versus you. You've been texting her all week. She know your job. She know when you get off of work. She know your social security number. You boring. Ain't nothing else to learn. Why am I going on a date with him? And I got somebody more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of game too, because understand they have a lot of options. So you got to make sure your game and you got to compensate for whatever you need to make up for. Does that sound like something that that's being done with you?
Like I don't, like, I'm not messaging them every single day. You know what I mean?
Are you talking on the phone? Are you applying any NLP? Are you building comfort? Are you building any sexual tension? Are you flirting?
No.
There we go. There we go. Go study, man. Go study.
All right.
Simple.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yo, it's good, KB.
What's the deal?
Yo, I've been with my girl for maybe 9 months now. And I got put on your stuff maybe a year ago. So, you know, so I've been watching, studying, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's been blessed. Like, you know, like, been getting my dick sucked like every time we chill. Like, she's been cooking for me. So, like, you know, the relationship's been going well. Only thing is like, I can see the tricks that she's playing now. Like, she'll be like, post me and like, oh, save me as your lock screen. But I'll say like, I'll be like, nah, not yet. And she'll be like, oh, if you're not going to do this, I won't do this. You know what I mean?
Well, one, you shouldn't say not yet. You was like, that's not something I want. I don't want to do that. If you don't want to do that, that's not something, because you're making it negotiable. If you don't make it negotiable, then there's no fucking question about it. You say, no, I don't want to post you on my page. No, I don't want to post you as my lock screen. And she says, then I'm not going to do this for you. Okay, well, then that's fine. You don't have to do that for me. Oh, shit, my live ended. Oh, man, sorry, guys. I did it. Yeah, it ended because I didn't upgrade. Fuck. I'll be back tomorrow. Anyway, guys on live, sorry about that. I got to upgrade my Zoom. I'm going to probably purchase that right after this. That guy was talking. Oh, man, sorry about that. I'm not doing another one because we was on this motherfucker for a minute. But yeah, that was guys on Patreon. If you're on Patreon, when we do the live Zoom calls, you'll be able to come in and ask questions. Very simple. I gotta upgrade to the paid version so this way I don't get kicked out. This will be on YouTube, so if you want to come and watch this on YouTube, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and maybe some of these questions can apply to your situation and it'll help you out. But damn, that kind of sucks. Yeah, tell that guy I'm sorry. But anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to Patreon, subscribe to the podcast. The podcast in YouTube is free. Make sure you get your new fisherman glasses. These are new exclusive pair. They're only a limited amount of pair. They're not many. So I know a lot of you guys like these buffs. They'll be out soon on the website. And yeah, I'm out of here. Thank you for coming. We will probably be back tomorrow. My day isn't done. I still got a lot of other work to do.